Quick snap, handoff up the middle, into the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor. Robertson looks left, passes left. He's got a man. Catch made at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Bears.
Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. HEB, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics, proudly serving Texans since 1905. TFNB, your bank for life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Premier ER and Urgent Care, feel better now. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Got the first down. Oh, and more! Sawyer Robertson's going to take it for a touchdown.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. For all the pregame action, starting right now. Right now.
The Bears' Big 12 journey begins tonight. Baylor football, coming off one of the nation's toughest non-conference tests through the first 3 games, brings a 2-1 record into the conference opener tonight on national television under the lights. This evening, it's the Bears and the defending Big 12 champions, the Arizona State Sun Devils, at McLean Stadium. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. Welcome you to the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show, live from Touchdown Alley, alongside Baylor legends, the voice of the Bears, John Morris, and the quarterback, Seth Russell. I'm Derek Smith. Pleased to have you with us here this afternoon, and it is a big game. There is no easing into the Big 12 schedule, John. Right off the bat, I think a game that you look at it right now, you feel has implications that go far beyond today. A big game for both teams and for the Bears, an opportunity to protect the home field.
Huge game, and Arizona State coming to Waco for the first time ever, only the second meeting all time, and they are the defending Big 12 champs, and so this concludes, remember when the schedule came out, we looked at the first 4 games, and you thought Auburn, SMU, Samford, and then Arizona State, and you thought, man, what a gauntlet of games to start the season. And it doesn't get any easier. We go to Oklahoma State next week, and then K-State is here. But, Seth, this is a really tough stretch that continues with ASU.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story from the beginning. It was a hard test at home against Auburn, hard-fought game. I think that really, kind of showed what this team can kind of be about. There were a lot of mistakes on defense. Offense kind of figured out, in the air. The biggest question, up to this point is how is our run game, right? Where is that going to show up today? We'll talk a little bit more about that later today, about where Arizona fits on the defensive side from a run game standpoint. They're really, really strong there. But I think in all, this will be a testament after Samford of just, hey, how can we learn? What can we do better from the past 3 games, and then really kind of bring it all together full fold.
A lot going on for today's game, as befitting a big game like this. It's a Vamos Osos game. Go Bears. I think everyone follows that, but Vamos Osos, Go Bears. Hispanic Heritage Month begins. We're going to talk about that. There's a concert that's going to begin here shortly. And, John, we're also honoring J.J. Joe. A helmet sticker will be worn on each Bear on the field's helmet with his initials, J.J. His family's going to be recognized at the game. You did such a great job, and his teammates did such a great job last night at the Baylor Black Alumni Alliance dinner, celebrating his life and legacy, and that's a part of today as well.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that right off the top. Everybody who knows JJ loves him. A lot of people who didn't know him felt like they did just by listening to him working with us for 21 years. JJ passed away in February, so it'll be nice. His entire family is here. Lakeisha, his wife, and their 3 boys, and their entire family will be here. So it'll be really, really nice to honor him in that way today.
Absolutely.
And a big game to do so, certainly befitting his life and legacy. This is a big game, as we said, Baylor and Arizona State in the Big 12 opener. As we've sort of thought about the non-conference schedule, it was a good test for the Bears, really the best test they've had coming into Big 12 play, and I would say really a generation. Let's not forget the Bears have won 6 consecutive Big 12 games. I know that it's the turning of a page. There's been a lot in between then, a bowl game and this year's non-conference, but Baylor has really pick things up in the second half of last year in Big 12 play. Well, this year they've got a chance to begin strong.
And I'll tell you something that's been mentioned more than once this week, guys, is last year, conference opener, the overtime loss to Colorado on that Hail Mary. Baylor would have gotten off to a great start but lost that game. and then you miss out on the Big 12 championship game by one game. And Coach Aranda and the staff has pointed back to that Colorado game. You know, who knows how things might have played out differently, but if you win that game, maybe you're in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, you know, the first game of every Big 12 conference, I think, game is just it's a momentum setter, right? You know, you kind of went on kind of that stretch of losses after that first game. I mean, they really kind of started to figure out, 6 games left in the season, but all around, they've had their early tests. They've figured out, hey, where their weak points are. And normally you don't really get to see that early on because normally your preseason or non-conference games are, sometimes marshmallow type of games where you don't really get to test your team. And I think Baylor's had that opportunity to test their team early, figure out, hey, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. Last week with Samford, we saw that in the first half. I mean, unless that last drive before half that Samford kind of did some lollipop, score on it. But all around, I think they're coming full circle. I think the coaching staff is doing a great job of, figuring out, we got some guys healthy back now, so hopefully that'll help just with the scheme and game plan there. But I think all around it's just, hey, you got to come out fast. It's gonna come down to the wire, right? It's gonna be a fourth quarter game. Like, who's gonna throw the final punch? Who's going to give the final blow, and I think that's going to be the final turnout for the game.
And Seth, obviously Baylor's played a tough non-conference schedule. When you play Auburn and SMU off the bat, you're getting tested. But if you were talking to some of the younger guys, a Caden Knight, who's a true freshman, or Matthew Fobbs-White on defense, first year with the program, would you say there's still something different when you turn the page to Big 12 play?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every conference is going to have their different style of ball, right? I mean, Big 12 is, hey, put a lot of points on the board. Defense isn't as heavily touted. Maybe that's kind of shifted over the last couple of years. But, all around special teams, I think is going to be a great factor in this game. Because really, I mean, offense and defensively, they're pretty equally yoked, from a rating standpoint, offense and defensively, and then on the flip side. So it's going to be a heavyweight punch, coming out from the front.
Yeah, no question. And great respect for Arizona State and what they have done. They are 2-1 coming in. Baylor is 2-1. The Arizona State loss was at Mississippi State. And they've got Sam Levitt at quarterback. How about the two quarterbacks we've got tonight? Sam Levitt, for ASU, the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and then Sawyer Robertson, who is playing great. So, and I think we'll have a great group of receivers on the field tonight. Baylor's group, and then the main one for Arizona State, also preseason All-American, maybe the best receiver in the country.
That's right. We talk about Tyson. I mean, there's playmakers all over the field. And I think, defense, it may come down to you're not – kind of like we saw against SMU a couple weeks ago. You're not going to get stops all the time, but you got to, when you have that opportunity, make a play here and there. That might be the difference in a shootout type of game.
Yeah, I think between the 20 and the 20, right, I mean, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. If you can keep them out of the end zone, hey, keep them to 3 points, I think that's going to be kind of the name of the game, and then obviously getting off the field on third down, which Arizona State does a pretty good job there.
Well, we will break it down for you over the next hour as we get you ready for Baylor and Arizona State today in the Big 12 opener on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. We're presented by Baylor Alumni, connecting the Baylor family worldwide. It's our Vamos Osos game, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. Ricardo Alvarez from the Baylor History Department and Baylor's Latinx Faculty and Staff Association, getting you ready for the game today at McLean Stadium here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Do you ever scream at your screen when your 5G internet freezes? It's the worst! So why not switch to Astound? Wi-Fi that just works. With Astound Wi-Fi, you'll rage less, buffer less, and live more. Lock in gig speed Wi-Fi for just $35 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Plus, get up to a $200 Amazon gift card. Astound Wi-Fi, it just works. Visit astound.com today.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Tailgate Show. We are live in Touchdown Alley. Crowd is gathering, roaming around here in Touchdown Alley. Great food here at the tent, thanks to Milo's. They are serving up some fresh-made hot dogs and hamburgers here at the Baylor Alumni Network tent. We welcome you back. And as Derek mentioned going to the break, this game has been designated as Vamos Osos, Go Bears, and it's Hispanic Heritage Month as well. And we welcome Dr. Ricardo Alvarez from the Baylor campus joining us here tonight. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here. There's a really good push, it seems, with the Vamos Osos for this game.
Yes, it's really incredible, and I encourage anyone to stop by the Baylor Latino Alumni tent right next door. It's exciting to see the energy here on campus and to finally see that there's this wonderful recognition of our Hispanic community here at Baylor.
Good. So you're right next to, are you this tent right over here, right next to the Baylor Alumni
Right,
Network
exactly,
tent?
right there, the Latino Alliance right there.
Okay, very good. So folks can stop by there and see what's going on.
Well, it's great to have you here with us to share. You're so involved with what's going on campus with our students and our faculty. What does it mean to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month? When you think about football this time of year, that's as big as it gets for visibility. What does it mean that Baylor Athletics and Baylor football are really leaning into this and celebrating throughout the game?
Thank you. Yeah, I think the word visibility is really the key word there. Right, the whole point of Hispanic Heritage Month is to grant that visibility to folks who are part of our community who might often feel like they're unseen or their contributions are not really quite acknowledged as much as they should be. And part of coming together and celebrating this month is for everyone to see that the wonderful contributions of Hispanic Americans at Baylor, also on Waco in Texas. And it's exciting because there's a lot of really exciting student events happening already. We kicked off earlier this week. September 15th is the official starting date of Hispanic Heritage Month, going into October 15th. And there's going to be some really wonderful events also coming up within the next couple of weeks, both on Baylor campus and off campus as well.
And I know at the game, John, there's going to be music, there's going to be performances throughout the game, and then, as you said, throughout the year as well, throughout the month as well, across campus, things people can get involved with.
Yeah, certainly. So, even just a week from today on the 27th over at the Mayborn, they're going to have this celebration called Pequeños Gigantes. It's supposed to be for the whole family, just to come and celebrate, have music, food, all these wonderful things over around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe, on the 27th. And then October 6th, here at the Hurd Center, we're going to do a wonderful memorial, a banquet put together by our Hispanic Student Association. 6 p.m. It's open to the public. We're going to have a wonderful memorial to Hector Garcia, who was a civil rights leader and also a military veteran, part of the Waco community. Part of this also not just showcasing Hispanics at Baylor, but also the wonderful contributions of Hispanic Americans in Waco and Central Texas.
Boy, isn't that nice that we have an opportunity and a platform to celebrate these successes and these Hispanic success stories.
Yeah, it's incredible, and Baylor is a wonderful place where we can do this. We can do this, very, very much in the spirit of community, in the spirit of getting everyone involved, not just Latino or Hispanic Americans, but even, folks from other backgrounds, right? We're always welcoming, and we're always building a broader tent, building coalitions. This is a wonderful place to be where we can do that kind of celebration.
Visiting with Dr. Ricardo Alvarez from Baylor's Department of History. And I got to ask you, you're from the Miami area originally.
Yes.
Went to undergrad at University of Chicago, grad school at Yale. What was it that brought you here to Baylor, and what have you enjoyed about being a part of the Baylor faculty and community?
There's a couple of things that I really enjoy about Baylor. First and foremost, when I was hired here, it was part of what Baylor calls the Latin America Initiative, which was a big research initiative across the university, different schools, different disciplines, different departments, bringing in professors like myself who research and do work on Latin America in different types of disciplines to really boost Baylor's presence in the world and to make Baylor a presence within the communities next door, right? Whether it's Mexico, Central America, or South America. But one thing that I also really like about Baylor is, of course, its own identity and mission. It's a very unique place to be, a Christian R1 university. And I, stand wholly by what we're trying to do here in terms of approaching research and approaching just new methodological approaches in a way that brings forward this new perspective into the research arena.
Very good. We pay a lot for those Nike uniforms, but it would have been cool if we could have had Osos on the uniforms tonight, wouldn't it? For this game this evening.
That would have been fantastic. I would have gotten
or
one
some
of those.
kind of
thought.
Yeah, kind of homage, to Vamos Osos. That would have been really cool.
That would have been fantastic.
That would have been fun.
I've seen a few of the T-shirts out today. They
There
look
are
good,
T-shirts,
and you can get those at the store here at McLean Stadium or elsewhere. It's a nice deal.
Right, and also sometimes with the Alumni Network, we also have the Familia T-shirts.
Oh,
also.
yeah.
And those of us in the Latino Faculty and Staff Association, we're also constantly coming up with these, new ways to have merch.
I
right?
like
Hats,
that.
shirts, all this
Right.
cool stuff to wear at the games, homecoming, Staff and Faculty Appreciation Day. It's always good to wear all that stuff.
Yeah.
Dr. Alvarez, do you have a part of the game you're looking most forward to once you're in the stadium today?
The first touchdown, Baylor's first touchdown.
I like it, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Yes.
That's good. Hope they come early and often
Yes.
in the game coming up this evening. Well, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for our Hispanic community on the Baylor campus. And this extends beyond the borders of the campus, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly, 100%. I mean, even Waco, Baylor's been a wonderful partner recently in terms of bringing in the Waco community. I myself taught a class recently on Waco's Hispanic community and the history of Waco's Hispanic community in the last 100 years or so. And we've been really building that rapport between the university, and our community partners to make sure that they know that we see them and we see their contributions to the city, which essentially make Baylor also be able to function.
Well, we look forward to seeing all the fruits of these partnerships continue, and we appreciate you being here today. Vamos Osos.
Yeah.
Vamos
Sick
Osos.
of Osos. I don't know
Yes.
Sikkim, but yeah, well.
Sikkim, we'll have to work on that one.
Let us know if you get that one. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you all for having me.
Dr. Ricardo Alvarez, Baylor History and Baylor's Latinx Faculty and Staff Association, our guest here on Vamos Osos Day, Baylor and Arizona State. We'll take a time out a little bit later on. We're going to hear from today's legend, Spencer Drango. See him making his way over to the tent. Also, Mike Craven of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. But straight ahead, we're going to meet this week's charity champion here on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
All right, since it's self-contained, it'll be about 8 minutes here.
Complicated. Butts Law Firm is your one-stop for a wide range of legal needs. Whether you need estate planning documents such as a will, trust, or guardianship, or the appointment of a receiver to handle personal or business assets management and disposal, consumer protection, family-related legal matters, or various business-related issues, we are your community firm. Whether you're planning for the future, navigating a probate, or managing...
No, it's self-contained.
Experienced team is ready to guide you every step of the way. Trust us to provide the legal support you need. Call today, 406-641-BUTZ. That's 406-641-2889. Or come by the Waxahachie office at 301 South Rogers Street, Suite 202, downtown Waxahachie. Come see the difference having a trusted attorney by your side can make, because at Butts Law Firm, your legal rights are our business.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected. Get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
Everything we do for you. Are you looking for a new set of wheels? First Central Credit Union Auto Financing offers fast, complete coverage, competitive rates, and flexible terms make for a win in financing your next vehicle. A quick online application makes it easy to score the money you need at firstcentralcu.com. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. Each week, each home game, it's our pleasure and honor to unveil this week's charity champion, presented by TFNB, your bank for life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Tremendous program from TFNB, and our charity champion, you'll see them recognized on the video board and on the field later today, is the Creekside Community Village, an initiative of Mission Waco. And John Calloway joins us. John,
congratulations on being selected as this week's charity champion.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's also just a privilege to be highlighted by TFNB, Your Bank for Life. We're so grateful for how they help folks in our community.
Very good. All right, tell us who you are and what you do. What is Creekside Community Village?
So, John, I'm the Executive Director of Mission Waco. I took over from our founder, Jimmy Doral, about 8 years ago. For a number of years, we've seen housing become a significant issue in our community. I think anybody listening to this is aware of the lack of attainable, affordable housing, especially for those. It's not attainable if you're coming out of homelessness. And we deal with a lot of folks that are experiencing homelessness. Getting them up off the streets into permanent community is something we knew is a significant issue we need to address. So about 3 years ago, we went looking for property and looking at models around the country, landed on a model in Austin, Texas called Community First Village. And we're basing Creekside off of that model. When it's fully built out, we'll have 346 units. It's a mixed income approach. So not everyone who lives out there will be off the streets, formerly homeless, but we call them missionals. We'll have volunteers who live out there being a part of the supportive community as well.
Great. Jay Jeffrey, a mutual friend of ours, former Baylor quarterback. Jay has been in on this project from the beginning, really.
He has. We've had countless individuals that have really come alongside of us to help lead this project. Billy Davis Jr., who is on my leadership team and helps fund the fundraising chair, chair the fundraising chair. He's been instrumental in helping make this happen. But a number of foundations and other individuals have also been critical in this endeavor.
This may require a longer conversation, but homelessness is a real issue in Central Texas, isn't it?
It is. Since 2005, when we started doing what's called a point-in-time count, where we measure chronic homelessness in our community, McLennan County, we had about 650. Back in 2022, we were down to 200. So we have, through collaborative efforts across the city and our community, have really worked out a system to actually decrease homelessness in our community. Most people don't know that. But in 2023, our rate of homelessness went up 25%. And so we continue to see that number go up as the years go on because of the lack of affordable and attainable housing for these individuals. And so that's why Creekside Community will exist. We also see out of the total population that's homeless in our community, about 15% are veterans. That's twice the percentage of your average city in Texas.
Wow.
And so we've got a significant issue, and so we want to address that as a part of this. So 15% of the overall housing will actually be dedicated to veterans. And so in phase one, that means 5 homes at $50,000 apiece. And so we're trying to finish those last few homes off that we hope to have built by the end of this year.
All right, you are the charity champion this week. You've got a really good platform today and then continuing on past today. What do you need? What's your message to those who might be listening or watching?
We're really trying to finish off. We have 35 homes, and we have 5 homes left. Churches, countless individuals have really been a part of helping fund that so far. So we're looking to finish off the last 5 homes for veterans at $50,000 apiece. A lot of people can't give $50,000. That's a lot of money, but you can give $5,000 or $5. Any bit helps to go help our veterans get up off the streets permanently.
Terrific. All right, is there a website somewhere people can go?
CreeksideWaco.org, or you can find it through just our normal website, missionwaco.org.
Good. Well, congratulations again. What a tremendous initiative, and congratulations on being selected as the charity champion for this week.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
All right, John Calloway, he's the executive director for Mission Waco. Creekside Community Village is this week's charity champion, presented by TFNB, Your Bank for Life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Blessings on John and his group. We'll take a break. Be back with more after this on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears!
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the Big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oilfield trailers? We carry a full line of Big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day.
John, did you hear what happened in the Oklahoma game?
All your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Do you want to earn points while cheering on your favorite Baylor teams? Join Baylor Bold Rewards. Track your attendance on the Baylor Sports app across athletic events and earn points towards prizes and experiences. Download the Baylor Sports app or register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com and start earning your points today.
You're listening to Baylor football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back to the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. We're out in Touchdown Alley right here at the Baylor Alumni tent. Great crowd here. Nice day leading up to a nighttime kickoff. The anthracite uniforms are back. Anthracite uniforms and the dark helmets tonight for the conference opener, Baylor and Arizona State. You got to like that.
Trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
I don't know what for some reason I feel like our history record-wise isn't great with blackouts.
Oh, don't say that. It's not a blackout.
It's not blackouts, but I think we can change it. I think it'll be a change today.
I got you. Everybody feels good if you win this game.
Yes,
coming up
100%.
tonight. We welcome in the legend that'll be recognized on the field tonight.
Legend.
Spencer Drango is with us. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Man,
Heck
welcome.
of an intro, always.
Oh, man, welcome back, let me say. How often do you come back?
I try to make it back every two couple home games, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're up in Dallas.
I'm up in Dallas now. Just got married in December, so me and my wife up there, north of Dallas, kind of by SMU.
Okay.
But yeah, liking it a
Very
lot.
good. The newlyweds, eh?
Newlyweds, yeah.
Gotta like that.
Good luck. No, it's fine. It's good.
That's great. Well, we're glad you're here, and congratulations on being recognized by the B Association as the Baylor legend for this game. Folks, remember Spencer, part of an offensive line, couple of Big 12 championships, Big 12 offensive lineman of the year twice, All-American twice, All Big 12 3 times. Did I cover everything? There's a lot of those.
I think so.
There's a lot of those times.
Had some academic ones in there too. But
oh, academic.
Yeah,
let's always shine a light on academics. That's good. But let's say you were part of some really good teams and back-to-back Big 12 championships.
Yes, sir. It was a lot of fun.
Good
we had,
memories?
Great memories.
Yeah.
Great memories. Opening up McLean over here was a great memory too. Coming in versus SMU and I think, was that the shutout or was it the shutout the year after?
It was 45-0.
45-0.
So you're part of a select group that closed down Floyd Casey.
Yep.
Last game there, won a championship, beat
Won a
Texas,
championship.
and then opened up McLean Stadium. That's pretty cool to have happen in your time here.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was a great. Seth was there as well. But
was cold.
It was cold.
It was
well,
cold.
actually, for the Texas game. When we did case closed, I was actually hurt for that game.
Oh.
I had my back surgery in early November, so I missed the last couple games. But yeah, no, it was still a great environment to be a part of. The Baylor Nation showed up, made it real loud, made it really fun. So
he was over on the sidelines with heated vest.
100%.
And, yeah.
Sure.
I had a sweatshirt, leather jacket, tights on, jeans, and maybe even a parka, and it was standing right by the heater. Yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Didn't catch myself on fire though, so that's good.
But the wind made it seem not as cold as what it really was.
Oh, gee.
Which is great. Which is great.
What stands out the most from your time here? Game, moment, anything?
So I think one of my favorite games was in 2012, the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
We had a great line back over there, and it was just a really fun experience. Nobody expected us to do what we did against UCLA. They had Anthony Barr out there at defense. They thought he was going to have an all-star game, and he didn't really do much against us at all. So, but yeah, that was a really fun game, really fun experience, and that team. And obviously we've talked about it already, but the 2 back-to-back Big 12 championships is a great time too.
So if you didn't know what position he actually played, so he played from a quarterback standpoint. If you've ever heard the movie The Blind Side, that's where he was. He was a quarterback's kind of best friend. It was, hey, you had to trust him or things were going to be wrong, and he was always there to make a statement, make a stand, and obviously, all his accolades kind of show for what he did and from all the records and things like that he had here at Baylor, and he was definitely my best friend on the offensive line. No offense to the other offensive linemen, y'all were great too, but there's a special place for the blind side for a quarterback.
Ooh, isn't that the truth?
It is.
I know you took that seriously.
I did. Yeah, it was always something that I exactly took seriously and took not for granted, right? Because it is a lot of pressure, right? Because you got to make sure the quarterback doesn't get annihilated,
right?
Because he can't say anything. But no, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. Do you still remember a handshake?
I was thinking about it just a second ago. It was
just the secret handshake.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I had one with all the quarterbacks, so it was always fun. But I don't know if I remember it too many hits.
You want to demonstrate?
We'd have to work it out off camera and then come back on and do it first.
Maybe next segment.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next legend game.
Next time you're a legend. It'll probably happen again. So what was the final score of that Holiday Bowl? I can't remember exactly. What was that final score?
Well, if you ask Big Coach, it was something to 19, 34-19.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah, because it was a controversial call that the UCLA went down and scored, but the guy bounced on like the 4-yard line and then bounced into the end zone.
Yeah.
So the official score, UCLA had like 26 points. But if you look at our Holiday Bowl championship rings, it has 19 for them.
Which is the greatest thing.
Yes, it's
ever.
amazing.
It really
it's
is.
So fun.
And it wasn't even close. The replay didn't even look at it. It was late in the game.
Yeah.
Replay was in the booth right next to us.
Oh.
I'm knocking on the window. Hey, you going to look at this? Hey, guys. They were gone. They had already left.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. They had already left. So there was not going to be a replay.
That makes way more sense of why they didn't turn it over.
Now you know the rest of the story.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a great win. Wrapped a great season in 2012. And Nick Florence was your quarterback for the most part in 2012. We got him on the radio with us now. You have an early season critique of Nick?
I think he's doing a great job. I heard him. I was here for the Auburn game, so I was listening to him. I was like, I think that's Nick. And it was like, oh, it is Nick. He has some really great insights. Kind of I would like a little bit more, animation or motion out of Nick, but that's just him in general is pretty steady, and that's always been him. So
there is one thing that I have noticed. He'll call it before it happens.
Yes,
touchdown.
Right,
and then you jump in. Oh, that's a touchdown.
Well, he called a bunch of quarterback draws and stuff before they happen, and like, dang, Nick, you should do this more often.
That was a JJ thing. So JJ Joe did it 21 years prior to that, and that was a JJ thing because he would see a touchdown before it actually happened. You would do the same thing if you were up there. So
maybe.
I think you would. You guys had a pretty cool reunion last year,
we
didn't
did.
you? The 13 and 14 team and coaches. Wasn't that great to get all y'all together?
It was such a great thing. You see a lot of those guys you haven't seen in a while. You keep in touch with somebody, but when you got 120 guys on each team, unfortunately you lose touch with someone, and then seeing guys you haven't seen in 10 years is like, wow, this is awesome. It was really special. We all met up at George's before, so I had a big group there. Sammy set us up right and hooked us up. So it was a ton of fun and really, really fun to see and good to see everybody.
Good. Shout out George. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, if you don't mind, we're going to keep you another segment, and Derek's going to rejoin us and get your thoughts on the offensive line play.
Yeah.
You'd be a good person to ask this to. So Spencer Durango, our legend of the game, is going to stay with us. We are out in Touchdown Alley, the Baylor Alumni tent, on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate show. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Back on 10 seconds on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas.
Take a break and back with more on the Baylor Alumni Network Tailgate Show, live from Touchdown Alley here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
Do you ever scream at your screen when your 5G internet freezes? It's the worst. So why not switch to Astound? Wi-Fi that just works. With Astound Wi-Fi, you'll rage less, buffer less, and live more. Lock in gig speed Wi-Fi for just $35 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Plus, get up to a $200 Amazon gift card. Astound Wi-Fi, it just works. Visit astound.com today.
Looking to connect with Baylor alums in your area? Baylor Alumni can help. Looking to host a watch party in your city? Baylor Alumni can get you started. Want to step out in your community and serve with other alums? Baylor Alumni is your connection with the university and each other. Let's get started. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
You're listening to Baylor Football, on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back with Spencer Drango, live from Touchdown Alley on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show, presented by Baylor Alumni, connecting the Baylor family worldwide. Now, Spencer, you're getting ready to yell out there on the field. You got your Baylor Bears ready to go?
Yep, I've been practicing, so it should go well, I hope.
It'll be outstanding. It'll be good to see you out there. And it's good to have you on today for a number of reasons, not the least of which is to talk about line play. I think when you look at Baylor through the first 3 games, it's that play in the trenches, as it so often is, that you're really looking to see pick up and improve. So I guess my first question, let's just ask you broadly, what's your take on the job that Baylor's offensive line has done through the first 3 games, kind of good and looking for improvement?
Yeah, I think they've done a good job, through that first Auburn game, new line, you get those first game jitters, trying to come together and play as one unit. And I think you saw some of that a little bit. They had those couple good drives, but just couldn't finish through. Now, I think they've done a better job of playing and holding their ground more, right? They were getting a lot of pressure or getting pressed a little bit. Some of the tackles were getting pressed back, which makes it hard for Sawyer to get up there and step up and make the throw. If the tackles give up a little bit on the edge, that's fine, as long as those middle 3 have a good pocket for Sawyer to step up to.
You know, as I ask you this, I don't want it to sound like I'm picking on the newcomer, because that's not the question. It's more of a sense of, this year you have 4 of the 5 offensive line spots coming back. And you've got Caden Saraki at right tackle in place of Campbell Barrington. And I think most of us who aren't really familiar with the intricacies of line play think, oh, just one spot, just all the same, slightly different. But that's really, from being out there, how much of a difference can one change in that link make as guys adjust to each other?
It can make a huge difference, just because you get so used to playing next to one guy. I got to play against Cyril Richardson. I got to play with Cyril Richardson. I got to play with Blake Muir, and you just you practice with each other every day. You know what they're going to be. You don't have to worry about it. And when somebody else is in there and they just don't quite fit right, it does make a huge difference on timing. Not that they don't trust each other, but just that cohesiveness that some of the guys don't necessarily have, because they don't have all the reps together. The more reps you get, the better you'll play.
Yeah, it is also tough just from the quarterback standpoint, because that's the side that you see most of, right? Being a right-handed quarterback, that right tackle, if you see them getting pressed, you're going to think, okay, just consecutively, just from a visual standpoint, okay, I might be getting pressed here too, but then you step up. And so you want to try to step up in the pocket, but then obviously, you see it all around. Nowadays it's all about making off-balance throws and making adjustments and things like that. But, Sawyer has the arm strength to do that. I think Coach Miller's doing a great job up front of just trying to figure out where those fits are, how can we adjust. And I think they're improving each week. It's just we need to take a big step today.
I think when you look at areas they need to improve, it's not as simple as saying, it's at one spot. It's really been across the board as the guys look to really get it going, particularly in that run game. I thought it was interesting. Coach Aranda mentioned last year Baylor had its most success in that 6-game winning streak really going inside, running between the tackles straight ahead, that inside zone. This year, it's been more to the outside. They've had the most success trying to get Bryson Washington and others to the edge. When you hear that, when you see that, Spencer, what does that tell you as a lineman?
I think it's a different line, right? You said they're bringing back 4 of the 5 starters, but it's still one guy can make all the difference. Maybe he's a little bit more mobile and you can get him outside, or he's better at zone blocking than he is, gap blocking or power, right? So you kind of play to that line's strengths, and if they're running the ball well outside early, you kind of keep going to it and develop that inside run or that power run, gap run, whatever you need to do, just to keep that moving and keep the defense on their toes, because you don't want to be too one-dimensional up front, because then it's easy to scheme against.
You know, you were at that Auburn game in person a couple of weeks ago, Spencer. You know, you think about the size they had on the line. That's a good defensive line. That's a lot better than Baylor normally see. Most teams see in week one. I'm curious how much of the line struggles this year have come from the fact that, boy, you know, I played a couple of really good teams right off the bat, and you're seeing what you need to work on more quickly.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Playing against a good opponent up front, you know, okay, hey, here's where we're good at against good teams, good D-lines, here's where we could improve. And you always want to just keep taking those steps to improve and improve and improve. So I think that big push will come up front. You know, SEC lines, D-lines are traditionally, you know, historically bigger than the Big 12. It's just this different style of offense, or it used to be. And so you have those bigger D-lines that hold those gaps because they like to run the ball. Big 12, we like to spread it out a little bit more. So I think once we get into Big 12 play, you'll see a little bit more of that up-front push just because of the different type of D-line they're seeing.
Yeah, and then from a quarterback standpoint, you know, if the running game's not working, well, okay, we can also throw the ball too. And Sawyer's shown a great job this year, you know, 400-plus yards the first 2 games, 250-plus yards last game, which I think, you know, that just ties into the strength of where we can really see this offense build and grow. Now, obviously, the cliche saying is, hey, we got to establish the run game. Well, you know, that's great and all. I mean, that's a little bit more old school type of setup, you know. Arizona State is going to establish the run game today. That's what they're going to lean heavily on. And so all around, just from the offensive line standpoint, let's not beat our head against the wall, right? Let's figure out where our strengths are, and let's just keep attacking that. And then I think Spav and Miller and the coaching staff up front are going to figure out where to put the guys in the right position to make play. It may not be the standard, you know, inside run. We may do a lot more stretch. Hey, get these guys running sideline to sideline because we had the depth to do so, at least from a receiver standpoint, right? So get those corners, get those guys moving sideline to sidelines where it opens up the deep pass a little bit more.
You know, Spencer, I think when you were here, you obviously had good running backs behind you, and you had some good running quarterbacks behind you playing, including the guy in between us here. But, you know, you also you had some great wide receivers. And I know the cliche is that offensive linemen always prefer run blocking, and I know offensive linemen do love run blocking. But I'm curious, how much is it really about giving the guys behind you time to get the ball to the weapons? Because to Seth's point, a lot of our weapons are in the pass game this year.
No, giving the quarterback time to set up those, right? We had a stable of very fast receivers, so you didn't have to give him that much time. Now, we always did. We wanted to make sure he was clean the whole game. If he ever had grass stains in the back of his jersey, it was not a good game for the offensive line. You know, even 1 sack for us was too many. And so that ability for, if the run game's not working or hasn't clicked yet, because it eventually will, you'll get it going and it'll click sometime in the game, but you want to give him time for those receivers to get downfield and get open, because like Seth said, and you guys have said, we have the receiving core to do that.
Hey, before we go, I have to ask you, I was asking if you're ready to yell. Seth, do you have you've done this before on the field. He had your back so many years out there on the field. Do you have any tips for him as he goes out there, get the crowd fired up for the Big 12 opener?
Yeah, just don't pass out.
Good, Benji.
You know, that's always good. No, just have fun. It's good. I mean, there's a little bit of a delay from like your mic to
that makes sense.
That's true.
To like everybody yelling, so you might need to take like a, you know, Baylor.
Go
so
slower.
Don't go fast.
Okay, all right.
Because you're going to lose everybody.
That
if you
makes
do
sense. All right, good to know.
Don't pass out. That's like the tips they give groomsmen.
Yeah, just bend your knees. That's
Don't
what I was
lock your
saying.
knees in.
Yeah,
Don't lock your knees.
Go have fun out there. Well, Spencer, it's great to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well-deserved honor, and good to see you back here at the game today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so
Appreciate
much
it.
for having me on.
Baylor legend Spencer Drango, our guest here on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show as we inch closer to kickoff. A lot going on in the Big 12 right now. We've got Mike Craven of the legendary Dave Campbell's Texas Football here to talk about it. We're going to look at the Big 12 on today, the Baylor Bears Big 12 opener, and we'll be back after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics. Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It is Baylor and Arizona State today in the Big 12 opener for the Bears. And while there have been some Big 12 games already this year, today is really the Big 12 opener for most teams. And let's talk about the conference now. Pleased to be joined with Mike Craven, senior writer for the legendary Dave Campbell's Texas Football publication. And Mike, first off, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming out here to Touchdown Alley to visit with us.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the invite. We're owned by the McLean family, so anytime I get to McLean Stadium, it's good. And, the scene with the Brazos River, it's hard to beat.
Well, and of course, a lot of ties with Dave Campbell being a Baylor alum. Certainly proud of his legacy in sports writing and with the magazine. And it's great to have you with us today. Well, let's dive right in, because here we are now. I think you look about a month into the season. The Big 12, if we're being frank, hasn't had the best overall start to the season play this year. You look, Baylor had the win over SMU, but you think about the loss to Auburn on our end. Then across the board, there's been some opportunities to make a statement early that the Big 12 has missed. So I'm curious, that aside, what's your overall take first off on the conference about a month in? People say the Big 12 in 2025 is what?
Wide open.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip league most years. You look at the spreads, it's always 3.5 to 5 points. It feels like almost every single week, and every single year we enter it thinking 4 or 5 teams are in the running. A couple of those always end up at the bottom of the league, and then we think, here are the 5 worst teams in the league, and you look up in November and one of those is playing for the conference championship. So it's a really fun league before that, or because of that. It has a lot of parity, and I think 2025 is the same way.
I'm sure it makes it even harder with the transfer portal, NIL, everything else tied in, because you probably can't keep track of all of it.
Yeah, I other than the coaches, I think I was the most excited that they're getting rid of the spring portal.
Yeah.
Because we put together that magazine through March and April, and then in May I just sit there and fix it all because of all the portal stuff. And so I think the volatility of college football has grown even more. The haves and the have-nots, the separation has grown probably from the P4 to the G5. But I think at the P4 level, it's kind of squeezed. I don't think the Alabamas and Ohio States are as deep and talented anymore, and that's kind of closed the gap and created parity everywhere. And I think the Big 12 is a microcosm of that.
You talked about there's teams you expect to be up there that struggle in the Big 12 and vice versa. So who are some teams like that? I'll throw out a name right now. I think Kansas State has had a start to the season that is very un-Kansas State-like.
Yeah, I picked Kansas State to win the Big 12, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
None of us do.
I wonder, going overseas, like going and playing such a big game to start the season, playing a conference game in week 0 and what that does to kind of your preseason rhythm as a head coach. All of a sudden, media days are only like 3 weeks away from the start. It just squeezes the whole deal, and I wonder how much that impacts the kind of the loser of that game. And Kansas State just hasn't been very good, and I think the margins are very small in this league, and so to go from kind of the top to mid-tier, bottom tier isn't that hard.
To stay with teams that are struggling, got to ask you, obviously, things have gotten pretty bad in Stillwater. You look last night, Tulsa picked up their first win at Boone Pickens Stadium, or in Stillwater, since 1951. How much is that a story to watch as we move into next week and beyond?
Yeah, I would be surprised if Gundy makes it through the season. Although his buyout drops in December from $15 million to $10 million, and now in the rev share era, that's probably even more important than ever. But I think Gundy's story is one of a lack of evolution. Now, one of the things I like about Dave Aranda is it feels like when he makes a wrong turn, he's willing to kind of go the other way. He was hesitant with the transfer portal, and then he leans into it. Hesitant with NIL, and then he leans into it. Fourth down plays early on in his tenure, and then he becomes really aggressive. I think Gundy's just been slow to that. I think he's been stubborn. I think out loud he's been stubborn about NIL and kind of what he thinks the place of the college athlete is, and his team isn't as talented, and it still takes the Jimmies and Joes to win football games, and I don't think his roster is as good as it was 4 or 5 years ago because he's not willing to recruit in the way that you have to now.
Visiting with Mike Craven of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Mike, the early game today, Texas Tech with a big win in Salt Lake City, ranked matchup against Utah tonight. You've got Baylor and Arizona State. I'm curious, Big 12 can be so topsy-turvy, maybe this is unfair, but do you sense Arlington implications in the first and last games of the day in the Big 12 today?
I do. I kind of thought whoever emerged from that game I would consider the Big 12 favorite. And again, we're a long ways from being done here, so it could change in the drop of a hat. But what I find interesting about Texas Tech is they've always been a really good 7-on-7 football team, right? They've always been able to score points. They've always had wide receivers and quarterbacks. But the trench play, the offensive line, defensive line's never really been there. To go on the road and do that to Utah, a team that no matter what else, has a good offensive line and a good defensive line, to go and win that kind of game and kind of Utah a little bit, I think it's a great sign for the Red Raiders.
What about Baylor and Arizona State today? What are you going to be particularly watching?
Y'all watch them more than me. It feels like a mirror image type matchup game here. Like I trust both offenses. I don't think I trust either defense. I'm not sure you can count on them to get consistent stops, but the defense that can force a mistake or two, I think has a huge advantage in this game because I think it looks a lot like the Baylor SMU game where it's a shootout, it's an old school Big 12 type football game, and maybe the team with one less interception or one less block punt or just one of those kind of mistakes kind of swings this one.
Visiting with Mike Craven and